workers conducting surveys beneath Egypt's Giza Plateau.
In this central atrium, because the labyrinth has multiple levels, and it's almost like you're...
Giza conducted advanced high-frequency radar mapping under Egypt's famous pyramid.
Stumbled upon something that would immediately trigger government restrictions and national security sanctions. Underground passages and chambers that ancient Egyptian priests had warned about for thousands of years. And when archaeologists finally mapped what was down there in 1993, they found a 5,000-year-old system running beneath the pyramids, with shafts descending over 125 feet into chambers containing something so significant, Egyptian authorities immediately sealed all access and ordered a complete media blackout. What they discovered has never been publicly disclosed. The government banned all communications about the findings, made Giza heavily protected by law, and to this day, any scientist attempting to investigate gets dismissed as spreading fake news the moment they go public, leaving one terrifying question. What's sealed beneath the pyramids that's so dangerous Egypt would rather bury the truth forever than let the world know? If you care about what's really hidden beneath the most famous structures on Earth, and why ancient Greek historian Herodotus's 2,500-year-old account of a labyrinth containing 3,000 chambers beneath Egyptian pyramids has been dismissed as myth until recent discoveries proved he was telling the truth, share this everywhere. Because what archaeologists found beneath the Giza Plateau doesn't just confirm that massive underground complexes exist. It proves that Egyptian authorities will suppress any discovery that contradicts officially accepted historical narratives. And the question of what they're protecting has never been answered. Before we break down exactly what was found in those sealed chambers, why Herodotus was shown the upper levels of a massive labyrinth, but denied entry to the underground sections, and what happened to the archaeologists who tried to excavate what could be the most important discovery in Egyptian history. Subscribe to this channel for the investigations that uncover what governments don't want you to know. First, you need to understand that stories of underground chambers beneath the pyramids aren't modern conspiracy theories. They're ancient historical accounts that have been systematically ignored. According to Herodotus, ancient Egyptian priests spoke of a long-held tradition of the creation of underground chambers by the original builders of ancient Memphis. Herodotus, the Greek historian who visited Egypt around 500 BC, wrote about a structure with 3,000 chambers, both above and below ground. He was shown the upper labyrinth, but denied entry to the underground levels. Based on what he saw and what he wasn't shown, Herodotus claimed there were 3,000 chambers. His was the first written account of the labyrinth. Here's what he wrote. The labyrinth is situated a little above the lake of Moeris, and nearly opposite to that which is called the City of Crocodiles. This I have actually seen, a work beyond words. He continued, for if anyone put together the buildings of the Greeks and display of their labors, they would seem lesser in both effort and expense to this labyrinth. Even the pyramids are beyond words, and each was equal to many and mighty works of the Greeks. Yet the labyrinth surpasses even the pyramids. He described the underground sections as even more awe-inspiring than what he was allowed to see above ground. The passages through the chambers, and the goings this way and that way through the courts, which were admirably adorned, afforded endless matter for marvel, he wrote. Over the whole of these is a roof made of stone like the walls, and the walls are covered with figures carved upon them. For centuries, scholars dismissed Herodotus's account as exaggeration or myth, until the discoveries started. In the late 1800s, Egyptologist Flinders Petrie stumbled upon the structure by uncovering its megalithic remains. He discovered the remains of a huge stone foundation, more than 300 meters broad, around 4 meters beneath the sand. He concluded that this was the remnants of the foundations for the labyrinth. But believing the structure was demolished in ancient times to use its materials for nearby construction, Petrie and his expedition didn't excavate what could have been one of his most incredible discoveries. He walked away from what might be the most important archaeological site in Egypt. Then in 1993, everything changed. These stories were confirmed when large cavities were discovered during a survey conducted at Giza in 1993. An article about the find stated, "We have discovered a subway used by the ancient Egyptians of 5,000 years ago. It passes beneath the causeway leading between the second pyramid and the Sphinx. It provides a means of passing under the causeway from the Cheops Pyramid to the Pyramid of Chephren. From this subway, we have unearthed a series of shafts leading down more than 125 feet with roomy courts and side chambers. This wasn't a natural cave system. This was engineered, a deliberate underground network connecting the pyramids. But the most shocking discovery came in 2008. A group of researchers from Belgium and Egypt arrived to investigate the enigmatic underground complex beneath the Pyramid of Hawara with the aid of ground-penetrating technology. The Belgian-Egyptian expedition was able to confirm the presence of the underground temple, not far from the Pyramid of Amenemhat III. The results of the expedition were published in 2008 in the Scientific Journal of the NRIAG, and the results of the research were discussed in a public lecture at the University of Ghent, Belgium. Then came the shutdown, but the finding was suppressed since the Secretary-General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, Egypt, put a hold to all further communications about the discovery due to Egyptian national security sanctions. Read that again. National security sanctions. For an archaeological discovery, the Egyptian government effectively buried the most important finding in modern Egyptology and refused to explain why. More recently, 3 ancient shafts have been rediscovered beneath the Giza pyramids. These are not simple water wells or casual excavations. Their construction demonstrates sophisticated engineering, with squared walls lined with limestone and sandstone blocks that resemble precision machinery. At depths of 40 feet, 12 meters, each shaft features an 80-foot wide, 24-meter, cavity encircling the passage, far too deliberate to be natural erosion. Satellite imaging suggests these chambers extend even deeper beneath accumulated rubble, hinting at a subterranean architecture that has remained largely unexplored for millennia. Less than 165 feet, 50 meters, separates these 3 major shafts, which form a pattern that mirrors the arrangement of the 3 Great Pyramids themselves. This alignment bears an uncanny resemblance to Orion's Belt, the constellation that many scholars believe inspired the pyramid layout. The discovery suggests that ancient Egyptian architects may have created a mirror world beneath the plateau, reflecting the cosmic order they observed in the heavens. Then in 2023, using advanced scanning technologies, scientists discovered a hidden tunnel that runs underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. The corridor measures 30 feet long and is located near the main entrance on the northern face of the 4,600-year-old pyramid. Egyptian officials touted the find as the most important in the 21st century. But researchers still don't know what the function was of the chamber, which is not accessible from the outside. And in 2024-2025, claims emerged of something even more staggering. Italian and Scottish researchers announced findings of what they describe as a vast underground city, stretching more than 6,500 feet directly beneath the pyramids. Using synthetic aperture radar, SAR, technology, the team claims to have discovered 8 vertical, cylinder-shaped structures extending approximately 2,100 feet deep beneath the pyramids. Each shaft is said to be surrounded by spiral pathways that connect to 2 80-meter cube-shaped structures. Above these, they reportedly found 5 multi-level structures connected by passageways. The response from Egyptian authorities? Dr. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's former Minister of Antiquities, dismissed the claims as completely wrong and lacking any scientific basis. The claim of using radar inside the pyramid is false, and the techniques employed are neither scientifically approved nor validated, he said. But here's what nobody's talking about. Professor Lawrence Conyers, a radar specialist from the University of Denver, acknowledged that while small chambers and tunnels may exist beneath the pyramids, current technology cannot reach the extreme depths claimed. However, he added something crucial. The Mayans and other people in ancient Mesoamerica often built pyramids on top of the entrances of caves or caverns that had ceremonial meaning to them. It is conceivable there are small structures, such as shafts and chambers, beneath the pyramids that existed before they were built because the site was special to ancient people. In other words, underground structures almost certainly exist. The debate is only about how extensive they are, and there's a pattern emerging. Egypt has historically maintained a conservative stance on studies that contradict officially accepted historical narratives. Since the Giza pyramids are heavily protected by Egyptian law, only non-destructive research is now permitted. Why? What are they protecting? The Greek historian Herodotus wrote about the pathways between the labyrinth of Hawara and the Giza Plateau being linked, much like an ancient underground subway system. If true, this would mean an interconnected underground network spanning dozens of miles beneath Egypt's most sacred sites. Researchers Dr. Carmen Bolter and Klaus Dona are using space-based technology to penetrate the Hawara complex for underground anomalies. What they found is mind-boggling. Multiple levels of huge chambers and what looks like a complex of either an underground city or perhaps an ancient storage bunker. Some researchers believe this could be the depository of ancient and advanced knowledge the Atlanteans hid behind in the event of a future global catastrophe. Others suggest the pyramids might have been built over pre-existing sacred structures, underground chambers that predated the pyramids themselves. There are hundreds of pyramids around the world, many overgrown by vegetation and barely recognizable. The pyramids in Bosnia were discovered in 2005. Beneath the Bosnian Valley of the Pyramids, there's an extensive underground tunnel and chamber network, which runs for a total of more than 10 miles, connecting all pyramids and other places together. In 2015, scientists discovered a lake and caverns running underneath the Yucatan's Kukulkan Pyramid at Chichen Itza. The pattern is undeniable. Pyramids around the world sit above massive underground complexes. One thing is absolutely certain. Workers and archaeologists discovered underground passages beneath the Giza Plateau, confirming Herodotus's 2,500-year-old account of a labyrinth with 3,000 chambers. In 1993, they found a 5,000-year-old subway system with shafts descending over 125 feet. In 2008, a Belgian-Egyptian expedition confirmed underground temples beneath the Pyramid of Hawara. Then, Egyptian authorities immediately suppressed the findings with national security sanctions. 3 massive shafts with 80-foot cavities have been rediscovered beneath Giza, mirroring the pyramid layout above. In 2023, new tunnels were found using advanced scanning. Any recent claims of vast underground cities are immediately dismissed as fake news by Egyptian authorities. The Giza Plateau is now heavily protected by law, with only non-destructive research permitted. We found proof that massive underground chambers exist beneath the pyramids. Egyptian authorities sealed them, and the world still doesn't know why. Stay tuned.